And good morning, everyone, and welcome back to NeelyFX. My name is Michael Neely, and this is the channel where I talk about foreign exchange trading, and making money doing trading foreign exchange. And we'll see what's going to happen now. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get into our risk disclaimer, since we were talking about trading. And trading is, I'm not going to say potentially illegal. It is absolutely not potentially illegal, but it is potentially not good for you, especially if you are a buy and hold type trader. Then that typically will not work in Forex. So let's go ahead and get into it. This channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute trading or financial advice. I'm a professional trader, not a broker, trading my own capital, which means do not send me money. I will not trade your money. I do not solicit funds, therefore, I just said that. Manage client accounts. Nor do I hold CFTC or NFA registration. I have held an NFA registration in the past, but 20 years ago. Forex trading is highly speculative with a high risk of losing some or all of your investment capital. Only trade with funds you can comfortably afford to lose. And here's the CFTC risk disclosure. Forex trading carries a high degree of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. So before trading Forex, carefully consider your investment objectives, experience, and risk appetite. You could sustain a loss of some or all of your investment capital. I've blown out a few accounts with my own money before, and I don't like it. It's not fun. It's a very humbling experience, by the way. Let's see, after that, we're going to get into what's going to happen this next week. So, again, the news is all about the Fed and what it's going to do. We've got the Fed, who bought a bunch of houses and said they were her primary residence, so she could get lower interest rates. We'll see how that pans out. And then we also have, going into the week, we have nothing really going on until, ta-da, Wednesday. We have Canadian CPI. So if you're trading the UCAD, that'll be an idea of how that's gonna work out, as well as I thought we had rates on Tuesday. Oh, no, we don't. We've got CPI on Tuesday and American retail sales on Tuesday. And then we have CPI for England, or the Great Britain, better way to put it. And then rate decision on Wednesday for both Canada and the United States. So that'll be a weird day to trade the UCAD if you're going to give that a shot. I'm off from my day job that day, so that may be something I'm going to try to do. Who knows? We'll see. And then we also have the Aussie. The Aussie unemployment numbers will be coming in. Employment and unemployment numbers. They should be employment change. Okay. I'm just going to say one should just be the inverse of the other. Minus 100. And then we also have Henry, the foreign exchange trading parakeet, right here. He blends into the background a little bit when he's not on camera. And today we match. We're like the Bobbsey twins. Okay, so here we go. I just dated myself because no one knows who the Bobbsey twins are. Thursday, we have England's official rate. They're expected to hold. We're expected to cut 25 pips and 25 basis points. And the Canadians are also expected to cut 25 basis points. So we'll see. We could do a 50 rate cut that would come out of the blue. That would be a bit of a surprise. So that could be the thing. And then then we have the Japanese rate. And they're expected to hold too. They've been toying around the idea of raising interest rates. That would be monumental if they did that. A couple press releases have come out saying that. And I remember the day the Swiss went to. The last time I blew an account was on 2015, when the Swiss dropped interest rates into negative interest rates. They were the first country to do that. No country had ever done that before in modern history that I'm aware of. And I was active in the Swissy that day, and because I stopped and looked to see what the institutions were doing, I switched my trade to go long, and they dropped interest rates to minus 0.5, I think, and it was a 1,200 pip drop in about 1 second, and it almost put FXCM out of business. That was my broker at the time. But they were publicly traded, and they had to raise more capital. But we won't talk about that anymore. That was 2015, I think. Memory serves. Looky here. I figured out how to do some adjusting on this thing. This little doohickey. Let's look at the euro. So the euro is first. This is the day that we go back and look at our trend lines to see how our trend lines are holding up, and we make some adjustments if necessary. So our monthly trend line is holding. Our monthly trend lines both are holding. I don't think anybody cares when I drew that. Oops. Oh, Control Z. And put that back. Okay, I don't know what's going on with that. Why the oh, there we go. That's just monthly support. Henry's taking over my keyboard, so he doesn't think that the keyboard is mine. So monthly trend lines are holding in the euro. I don't think I have any weeklies. Oh yeah, I do. Look at that. Weekly trend line is holding actually. It's interesting. Let's get into the daily trend lines. I only have one, the support trend line. The resistance trend line probably looks a lot like the daily, or just that big yellow bar across. Let's go to the daily and daily trend lines. Let's see, open them up so we can see what we're doing. They are needs to be down there. It needs to be tidied up a little bit. So we have that. Daily trend lines are holding, and our support trend lines our 4-hour trend lines are. I don't know. I can't tell. There's our 4-hour right there. Another 4-hour there holding too. Almost had a break right there, but no. So now the euro is in this really tight range right here between 117.20, 117.40. That's 20 pip range between the buy and sell areas as designated by Smart Money Concepts. We'll turn that off. And that's what we have for trend lines. And our Bollinger Bands are hinting that we may have a heading up in the euro versus the dollar, but we're going to wait and see what happens to those Bollinger Bands if they start expanding. That'll be the time to get into that. Dollar, yen versus the dollar. Whoops. Let me do that. Let's go down to the monthlies and see what we got going on here. Yes, it's fun to play with trend lines. Monthly trend lines are holding. Daily resistance is cutting off the upward side to make it for it to hit the. It's interesting. Got a nice big wedge forming right there. It should be an upward wedge. It doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, no, in a rate cut environment, unless Japan holds rates. I think they may have priced in a 25 basis point cut from Japan, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Do not predict the future. That's one of the biggest things with trading. Do not try to predict the future. Weekly, don't have any weeklies, so let's go down to dailies. And what do we have here? Here we have big mess. Daily trend lines are holding. Not a whole lot to dispute about that. And it's to the high side of getting off the monthly trend line, but that's okay. Do whatever it wants. And then we'll go to our 4-hour trend lines to see if they're holding. 4-hour trend lines. I'll come back. Are definitely holding. Right there. Yep, definitely holding. They keep trying to break to the downside, but they haven't done so yet. So we'll again see what happens with that this week. The British pound versus the dollar. Monthly trend lines. Got a lot of action going on the sterling this week with rate decisions and such. Go to our monthly trend lines first. Monthly trend lines are holding. We also have a weekly trend line right there. Where did the other indicator go? I didn't delete that indicator. I just turned it off. Well, that's weird. Where'd my indicator go? Okay, well, I gotta put it back in there. Get out of my object tree for just a second. Just right here somewhere. Oh, look at that. Went down here. I want that. Then take it off of there. I'll go turn my way down to the bottom to RSI. Very interesting. Hmm. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. Oh well. Very interesting. But we won't talk about that anymore because I don't know what I'm doing. Wednesday, or don't know what I'm talking about as far as that goes. How do I do that again? That's kind of cool. I don't think about it. Oh well. To the next, we'll go to the 4-hour trend line, maybe. Nope. Let's go to daily. Daily trend lines are popping. Daily trend lines start to break out of the British pound is starting to break out of this one. So let's go ahead and start to break to the upside. You want to put that there. And the dailies trend line is still holding. He's now fighting me from with the mouse. Let's go 4 hours. Go on 4 hours and expand it a little bit. Chart. And 4-hour trend lines are holding too. This is a 4-hour support trend line. I mean resistance trend line. It's kind of sideways. It's not true. Yeah, it is. Okay. So the 4-hour trend line and the daily trend line just crossed. So that's kind of makes it for an interesting little thingy. I could break out of the 4-hour and then hit the daily maybe. So looking for an upside breakout possibly on the dollar versus, the pound versus the yen. Gets a pound versus the dollar. Based on the rate cut environment. Okay, what's next? Let's go back to the data window. That's what I want. Watch list. There we go. So here we go. The pound versus the yen. Man, this one's all over the place. I can already tell it's within all the trend lines. I don't trade this one very often because it just swings too much for me. With mine not being in the office the whole time and being able to monitor the trade. Oh, whoops. But we did get a close above 200. So that is a good thing. If you trade the pound versus the yen, you could see that if going higher. Monthly support trend line is doing well. Monthly resistance trend line is not doing well. It looks like I got a breakout, but I can't tell where it is. Oh, that's not good. There we go, that's better. Okay, so the monthly trend line has been done. How did I be able to see that? I don't know. How was I able to see that? Who knows? My eyes are very good. Henry decided to go play with something else in the house, which is fine. Daily trend line is going to look like this. Daily support is holding. Daily resistance is holding, starting to break out around that 200 range. So we'll see how that holds up. 200, and it's right at the top right there, so we'll see how that goes. And then we have the, I think it's going to break to the upside. I think that's big time going to break to the upside. I may want to get traded on the pound versus the, yeah, I'm not very, don't want to say I'm not very good at trading that, because if I say that, I'm going to reinforce that belief. But the, a lot of dollars to be made right here, if that is the case, right? Then again, you could call that as a double top, but I see it as a bullish wedge. So we'll see what happens with that. So the way it works is, with wedges, the lower lows, the higher lows, means that eventually it's going to hit a breaking point and break out. And I do not see any selling region right up here on the 4 hour. So that is something to consider. Something to behold, so to speak. Let's go to the daily again. I want to look and see if there are any selling trend lines. We may have found our trade for this week. Which the dollar versus, the pound versus the yen. But the problem is you got to set like 150 pip stop losses on that, because it can swing to 300 pips in a day. Hopefully to the way you want it to. So we may be opening up shop on the pound versus the yen this week. We'll see on that. UCAD, see what's going on there. Got a lot of things going on this week with the UCAD, and it's kind of hard to, when both the dollar and the Fed and the Bank of Canada are both cutting rates at the same time. It's hard to, might just be an equilibrium trade on that one. May not have a trade there. Oh well, let's not worry about that. Let's go to the monthlies. Oh wait a minute, do I do this on the 4 hour? 4 hour charts. Yes, I did. And that's a buy right there. And set it about right there. 2040. That's a good punch roll. May want to set it with no stop loss instead of helping out below the trading account, or could just do it with my own money, not set a stop loss, and then I lose my money. I don't like losing money. Oh well. Let me see. So next, ooh, I like that RSI level too on the closed market of 57. That's not bad at all. Closer. Okay, let's stop analyzing that as a potential trade, because we need to get back and focus on what we're doing. That's more coffee. UCAD, let's go into the monthlies and see if we've got our monthly trend line setups up yet. Oh no, something's overloading. Things keep opening on me for no apparent reason. That should do it. Okay, the monthly trend lines. Ooh, look at that. Monthly trend lines, we have our holding. Got one monthly support trend line there, monthly resistance trend line there. Looks like a giant wedge on the monthly level, but we're not there yet. Weekly, I don't have any. Let's go to the dailies next. Daily support and resistance trend lines are holding. I like that. And wow, that trend line's garbage right there. That's definitely not where it's supposed to be. Resistance trend line, isn't it? Should fix that one last week, but I didn't. Fix that one a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't. I think I deleted accidentally deleted the UCAD chart for last week's. So I think I skipped the UCAD last week. Here we have, looks like a bullish stuff going on, and nothing to the top side. So we could see a nice UCAD trade on that. Very, very interesting. If I'd come in at this level and had handled all this whipsawing, then I'd be up. But that whipsaw right there is what would have taken me out probably. But I still would have come up to here. which is about where it closed. So that's may not have been a bad thing. I don't like the way it's right in the middle of these Bollinger Bands, but that's okay. Okay, next we will go to the what did I do? Another indicator in there. Oh well. So here we have a bunch of cool stuff. Where am I? 4 hours. So the UCAD could have a bullish trade there. Right now it's right in the middle of this Bollinger Bands. We're not going to worry about that. Aussie versus the I wish I had seen how it was following these two resistance and support trend lines are actually forming a channel here, which would have been beautiful except it broke out. If I had just realized that's a channel in there and traded that, definitely could have made some money on that. Oopsies. That's okay. There will be many more trades, so we don't have to worry about missing trades because the market will give us an infinite amount of trades if we live that long. Let's see what's going on next. Monthly support trend lines are holding. Monthly resistance trend lines are holding. Let's go to the dailies. I don't have weeklies on this one. Henry's back. Chirping in my ear. Okay, what do you think? You like the Aussie? Aussie, oi, or something like that. Again, none of these, I don't see any selling pressure on these charts with smart money concepts. So I think we're going to see a lot of buying this week. This might be a very, very good week for trading. I'd rather do this for my day job anyway. If I could use that idea too. Let's see, daily resistance trend lines. Nope, got a breakout. It's a wrong chart. Wrong trend line. Z. I gotta learn from my life as a graphic designer. Sometimes you gotta grab the whole thing and move it. So the daily resistance trend line is pointing up, and daily support trend line is doing well too. So we're gonna leave that there. Whoops, let me do that. So let's go to the 4 hour, and the 4 hour chart is also, we have a breakout. So the Aussie versus the dollar is breaking out. How about that? So it may be a good time to get into the Aussie versus the dollar. It's an expanding channel now. So it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. Pitchfork may be a better thing to put on there. Just hide all the trend lines and put a pitchfork on there and see how that works. If you're not familiar with that, it's one of the indicators up here. And pitchfork. See what that looks like. Our pitchfork? Nope. It's Andrew's pitchfork, I think is what it's called. Andrew. We're giving it to Andrew, but let's try that one. See what happens. No, it's an auto pitchfork. I don't like that one at all. We're not going to use that one. I mean, it's clearly breaking out. It's not a good time to get on that pitchfork. Oh well, that's Aussie. That's the 4 hours, and it's looking like a nice little breakout situation right here. Gold. All that glitters is gold. So they say, as the song goes. So what are we going to do here? We are going to go to the monthlies. Gold is being gold. Alabama was. See how Tennessee did yesterday. Against Georgia. They're tied 38-38, top of the fourth. That's a different topic. Monthly resistance trend line's holding. I mean support trend line. We don't have a resistance trend line. Excuse me. Here we have the weekly. Proof positive. This is not AI, because I don't think you can get AI to sneeze. Weekly support trend line is right there. Holding. I don't know what to say about that. Daily trend line, of course, holding. Daily support trend line is doing fine. And let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour is a mess. 4 hour got a huge breakout. It's not climbing the trend line. Is that it? Yep. That needs to go all the way up here now. Go all the way up here. And I can change that date on that thing. And it is, in theory, off to the races. Go back in there so we can see what's going on. And it's kind of gotten to this little channel thingy right here. Daily support trend line is not there. Move that over here. And we have a very nice little wedge forming. Another little breakout coming up soon in gold. Might be Wednesday, the day they decide to raise interest rates again, which would put it about right here. So Wednesday we're looking at a gold breakout. I like it. Let's see, because when they reduce interest rates, it's going to act like a currency. Price of gold isn't going to increase when the dollar goes down. Dollar on the denominator, and look at it like a cross, which is what I did not look at it as, and that cost me some money. Well, it didn't cost me some money, it cost me some opportunities. Silver, let's go back to silver. Why? Because I like silver. Got a bunch of it. Monthly trend lines we have. Monthly support trend lines are looking good. This one doesn't. You call it right there. And then we'll go to the dailies. We don't have a weekly. Yeah, we do. Go to the weekly trend line, see if it's holding. I know it is. I'm not even going to do that. Daily. It's good to be a long video. How long? 28 minutes. Not bad. We have the daily trend lines. So we did not hold. Pull that one up here to here. Daily support is holding. Call it right there, even though it did have a little bit of a breakout right there, but it's not technically a swing low, so we're not going to worry about it. But what I would consider a swing low, these things are very objective. And we have 4 hour, we have silver. Look at those Bollinger Bands opening up on silver. It'll be time to get some more. Pull this entire section I'm looking at. Okay, and this one goes there. Nope, goes right there. Right there. So then we have silver. Do not see any red on these. Do not see any sell areas opening up on these. So it looks like we're going to start. Looks like September the Forex market's going to start heating up a little bit. I'm seeing very few. Where is it? You see the green bar showing up down here. These are buy areas. People are where the institutions tend to come in and buy at these levels, according to smart money concepts. But if we go to something like the pound versus the yen, we don't have one of those. We don't have any sell areas up here. So the pound versus the yen looks like it might be a good trade this week. Dollar versus the yen looks like it's going to be a good trade this week. Aussie versus the yen. Pound versus the dollar. Okay, here they're saying it's going to be a big sell area right there. That's the area that I'm talking about. That where it's going to start pushing down on that. Why? I don't know. Probably economic reasons or something. Euro versus the dollar. Euro versus the dollar is not going anywhere. It looks like, according to Smart Money Concepts. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. If you want to trade it, trade it. Dollar versus the yen. That is a really tight range right there. That's a bizarrely tight range. 30 pips for the pound versus the dollar. I mean the dollar versus the yen. Not the first time I've seen it though. I would not get into that. There's way too much whipsawing going on. Not if I'm going to be in the office all day. So we've got a few trades set up for this week that could become profitable. I would like that. I would like that very much. I'm ready for some profitable trades. So we're going to get into that a little bit later on this week. But for now, we've got our trend lines adjusted. We've taken a look at things. Gold, silver, DXY. Don't want to go up to DXY and see what's going on with that? Let's do that DXY too. DXY just for kicks. And go to the monthly. I don't think I have a monthly trend line set up for this. I just have the 4 hour. No, I do. Monthly support, monthly resistance, they're both holding. Yeah, we'll call that, well, that's in the past anyways, who cares? That was during the final days of COVID when I first moved to New England. Alright, let's see. And then as soon as I moved to New England, it took off. That's about the same time I started buying silver. Let's go to the, I don't have daily trend lines in here at all. That's what the daily chart looks like. And then we have the 4 hour trend lines. They are holding as well. So not a whole lot going on with the DXY. Pressure's on the downside on that. Looks like, but we've got this giant buying range right here. So I don't think it's going to go far. It'll be due to the other currencies that if anything breaks like that. What is it, Chirples? Okay, let's get over here. All right, so now that's what we've got for today. I'm not going to worry about it much more. I'll have my microphone on the side all day, so if I sounded muffled or anything, maybe that sounds better now that we're at the end of the video. Oh well, if you guys like this video, then by all means like and subscribe to the channel. Then that'll help my ego. I do this as part of my trading journey. It's part of my trading diary, so to speak. So this is not something that I'm going to stop doing anytime soon. But if you like the video, then like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll have plenty more coming up. In the meantime, you guys have a great one. We'll check out some trades later on tonight as the markets start to open, and we'll go from there. So you guys have a great one. So I'll be trading in the office on Wednesday. So you guys have a great one. Talk to you later.